Well, it's that time of the year again. It is currently 9:24, and believe it or not, it is New Year's. And so, as a result, you guys know what happens around this time. We're gonna do a little bit of a sort of reflection video, kind of talking about, the year overall, maybe talk about some highlights and things I didn't really love, and also things I just want to improve upon, mainly centering around YouTube, but maybe also talking about other stuff. We do this every year. You know the drill. Let's just go ahead and get into it. The year overall, I mean, look, I will be very honest with you guys. 2024 as a year was kind of a tough one for me, for sure. Now, this was definitely better than last year. Last year was definitely a hard one. There were a lot of mistakes that I made and things like that. There were a lot of things I did that thankfully have been resolved since then, which I'm happy about. But it doesn't change the fact that it was a really, tough year and things like that. And, as a result, last year, there wasn't really a lot going on YouTube-wise. So, one of the goals I had coming into this year was really just do what I can to prioritize YouTube more, because it was something that I've always enjoyed really doing. I haven't really focused a lot on my own stuff. I was doing a lot of podcasts with my ex and things like that, and I wasn't really focusing as much on my own YouTube videos, movie reviews, TV reviews, trying to incorporate reality stuff as well. Whether that's been successful or not, that is something I enjoy doing. That's not going away anytime soon. And I think in terms of, looking at YouTube overall, I think I both succeeded and failed when it comes to that goal. And I'll really get into what I mean by that. I definitely succeeded in the sense where I feel like I at least found a way to have something to upload at least, once or twice a month. I was definitely good about that. I think the first 4 to 5 months, I was actually really good with stuff. I was pumping things out at a much more consistent speed than I was. I was doing a much better job at reviewing movies on a week to, maybe not on a week to week basis, but at least staying consistent when it came to movie reviews and things like that. The TV side of things, not so much. We'll talk about that, of course. But I think I did do a good job in the beginning, and towards the end, I was definitely, happy with how that turned out. The middle half of things, though, it didn't really go as I intended to. I was good with keeping up with Big Brother 26 and, really loving that season and having a lot to talk about and, uploading things week to week on a week to week basis on that side of things. But when it came to everything else, I just didn't really do a great job with catching up on, with, really just like staying up to date with movie and TV reviews. And I think really, I've had a really hard time kind of struggling with, well, why is this such a issue for me? I used to do a much better job, I think, of if there's a movie or show that's coming out, I talk about it relatively quickly. I watch it, I do the review, pretty soon after I watch it, and the video comes out around the time that it has, come on, whether it's in theaters, whether it's on streaming. Most of the time, it comes out, around that time. And, you don't have to wait months and months, weeks or months for me to discuss it. And that used to be really easy for me to do, but that's not been as easy this year. There's been plenty of times even where I've wanted to do a video and I've sat down and I've been ready to record a video, and then I just feel overwhelmed and I just don't really want to do it, and I just feel myself struggling to get it done, and I've been really trying to figure out what the fuck is the issue? If I could do it then, I could do it now. Why am I having so much difficulty with this? And I think what I ultimately came down to is that while yes, I am definitely ready to do YouTube on a more consistent basis, the way I used to do it, let's say 2019, 2020, I just can't really do it that way anymore. And that's something I just kind of have to be okay with. You see, when things ended up happening in the beginning of this year, regarding, the breakup with my ex and things like that, I really tried to take advantage of the fact that, I have a lot more time on my hands. And as a result, I can just go ahead and film videos at my own leisure. I will have as much time as I can to film what I want. I don't have excuses with, podcasts and things like that anymore. I can do all this stuff on my own. But I think what I failed to recognize is that mentally, I just wasn't really there yet. And I think as a result, I just tried to take on way too much this year. I've always had this like Google Doc where I talk about like upcoming reviews, and that used to be very helpful. I used that from like 2017 all till now. That was around the time where I was doing like reviews of like every single show, every single movie, and I wanted a place to kind of just like organize everything. So it's like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. These are the videos that I need to get done. And it used to be a very good motivator, but I think it's almost turned into sort of like this, thing that has just caused a lot more stress, and it's just mounted on a much bigger, a much deeper, it's just kind of been this, a thing that has mounted on more stress rather than reduce it, which is weird because the whole idea was to make it feel a bit easier, kind of use it as a guide for myself, but I feel like I've kind of used it as a way to be like, okay, here are all the videos I need to get done this month, and these need to get done this month, and most of the time, they don't end up getting done because I'm just too stressed out, and like I said, I think the conclusion I've really come to is that mentally, I'm just not really in a place to do videos like that anymore. I can't do things as consistent of a basis as I really wanted to, and honestly, I think that's kind of okay. So that's really something that I've kind of just come to recognize, and that's why there were a lot of videos that just did not get done when I wanted them to. A lot of TV reviews in particular, I really wanted to get done this year, and I wasn't really able to do that. Individual episode reviews in particular, that was something I really struggled with this year. You guys know I did finish The Boys, I did finish Big Brother, I did finish Survivor, but House of the Dragon, that's one that just never got done. And I literally did reviews for episodes 2 to 3. I had a video plan for episodes 4 through 6. That just never got done. It is going to get done. I am going to get that video done, but that didn't happen. Agatha All Along, I reviewed episodes 1 through 3. I have the rest of that video done. I just need to upload it. But that's another one. The Penguin's another one where, like, I was going to do weekly reviews, and that just ended up happening. So I think moving forward, like, weekly reviews, unless it's, like, a reality show, I'm probably just not in, like, I'm not in the right headspace to do that. Most of the time, that ends up being a lot more stressful than I really wanted to, because I just find it really hard to keep up with it. Like, I don't have the time to, like, do a review. What I used to do, like, when I did, like, Mr. Robot and Watchmen, because that was kind of what I was trying to do, was kind of replicate what I did then. I was trying to replicate what I did then, but the thing is, back then, like I said, I had a lot more time. I was able to do things on a more consistent basis, and so I didn't really worry too much about when I'm going to get this done, because I just was able to get it done. Now, I think it's just a lot more stressful for me. I have a job that most of the time I have to work very early. I work like 4 to 5 days and things like that. There are many days where, like I said, I'm just not really in the right headspace to do it. There's other things that, like, I'm just very, like, stressed out about, and I think just as a result, it's just been harder for me to get that done. So I'm not going to say that, like, I'm not doing individual episode reviews anymore. I will try. Like, if there's a show I really want to try for, I will try. I just can't guarantee that, like, it will get done. You will get a review, like Severance Season 2. I am very excited for it. I want to do individual episode reviews, but if I don't feel like I am in the right mindset to do it, that's why you're not going to get them. That's why you might just end up getting a review of Season 2 as a whole. So, again, this is kind of just precautioning that, like, if you see that happen, that is why. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's just that I'm not really in the right headspace to do it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So, again, moving forward, I think really the solution is just to not put too much pressure on myself. And I think that's really been the thing this year, is that I've been constantly in this battle with myself where it's like, well, I was able to do it years ago. Why can't I do it the same way I did then? And it's because I'm just not really I'm not in the same place mentally that I was then. There's a lot of things that have happened, and as a result, like, it's definitely done a number on me. And I think stress-wise, like, it's just, there's a lot more that's gone on in my life. And I think back then there was just a lot less that I worried about, and I was able to get things done in a much quicker manner. Now I just can't really do that. So moving forward, like, yes, you're gonna get movie reviews, you're gonna get TV reviews, but the amount of things that I review is probably gonna be a little bit lesser than what you are expecting. Things to look forward to, though, at the end of this year, things that are absolutely happening. There are still about 2 to 3 videos that I have not uploaded that I have done. I just need to edit them, and they will be up in the next coming days. There's like 3 videos that I've done. One of them I filmed all the way back in May, and that's the other thing, is that schedule that I'm talking about, like for the upcoming reviews, I used to use that as a way where it's like, well, I have to go in this specific order. That's done. Like, I don't really have an order of things I do anymore. I do things in the order that I upload them in, and that's okay. That's why, like, this video that I'm putting out of, like, you know, there's like 3 Body Problem, Invincible, and the first 3 seasons of Hacks. The reason you have not seen that video is because I had an order of things I wanted to do things in, and then I just realized that, like, it's just not conducive. It's not going to happen. That's why I ended up not reviewing those summer movies, you know, individually. I just did my own video. I just did one video for it. That's why you're going to see that with the fall movies as well, because I just kind of gave up on the idea of doing an order, because I just knew that it wasn't, if it's, you know, it's not gonna get done in the order that I wanted to. Why make that so much more difficult for me? Why not just compile it all into one video, so it is much easier to get it done, so it's there, I don't have to stress about it anymore. I thought that was the best way to really go about it. So yeah, I think moving forward, that really is my goal. That's really what I want to try to do, is just do things, still be consistent, but do things in a way that is, you know, healthier for me. And I think that's really my goal moving forward. So then, TV reviews, what is there to look forward to? Well, there are a handful of TV shows that I have not reviewed yet, have not even filmed a video for. So what I'm planning to do, honestly, is do one big catch-up review, but at the risk of it being like, I don't know, like 9 hours, it's gonna be a lot more, like, quicker. I have a plan for what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit different from things you've seen before, but I'm excited to get to do that. Something else you will continue to see are the YouTube Shorts. That was something that I'm very happy that I was able to stick to this year. That was something that I, you know, went into the year and I said, look, I'm not doing movie previews anymore. And to be honest, since then, it definitely has felt different not doing those movie previews anymore. So it was kind of a good way to get that back without actually doing the movie preview, but doing like my own sort of version of it. And it's been a way for me to stay a bit more consistent, feel a bit more motivated. That will stick around. Even if TikTok is gone, I will find a way to continue that. So don't worry, that's still going to happen. So you can definitely look forward to that within the new year. And then, like I said, movie and TV reviews in general, I will get out what I can get out, and also what I watched. I do want to discuss that real quick. I'm not really, what I watched is something that I think was a really good idea. When I initially came up with it, I started in 2021, and the intention was, these are movies that I have watched, but I know that I don't necessarily have a lot to say about, so here is a way for me to discuss these films, but not have to do their own review, as one, a way for me to catch up pretty quickly on things, but also a way for me to still find a way to talk about this movie and not necessarily have to do a full review for it. And that was kind of the intention. That is what I planned to do when it came to what I watched. But what it very quickly turned into is similar to the upcoming reviews Google Doc, is I kind of used it as a way to watch a lot more movies than I normally could, and I kept adding things to the list. It should have, so what should have been like, this is what I watched on this month, quickly turned into, this is every movie that came out this month, and here's how I'm going, and this is my sort of chance to review it. And I think moving forward, I'm just not really going to do it that way anymore. What I'm really going to try to do is kind of use what I watched as simply just that. It is what I watched this month. Things that I didn't discuss in individual reviews will be discussed in that video. And I'm not even going to make a list, honestly. I will make the list as I go along, as I watch these movies, then they will be added to the list. And I think it'll make it so I will feel a lot less pressure doing those videos, but also they will come out a lot quicker in order, with me doing it that way. And I think that that's going to start, next year. As far as what I watch for this year, I do plan to do one. I'm going to do one for January through April. I'm going to do one for May through August, and I'll do one through September through December. They're not going to be as many films as you think. I do have one big catch-up review planned for the end. Yes, I have one for the fall, but like I'm going to do a part 3 that's like a bunch of other movies that I didn't get to. But in terms of what I watched, that's what I'm going to do moving forward. Because like I said, I think I have used it in the way that it wasn't intended to. And I think all it's done is like, again, mount more stress onto me than there really needed to be. So yeah, I think those are really the changes that I'm going to make moving forward. And I think if I'm able to do that, I feel like 2025 is going to be a pretty good year for me. I do feel like I'm starting to kind of figure out the best way to do this without feeling too much stress, without feeling like I am putting too much pressure on myself. And I'm hoping in doing that, you will get, I think, better quality videos, but also you will get videos at a much quicker speed than you have been getting in the past couple years. But as always, I do want to say just thank you guys for watching. I know that I haven't been as consistent as I want to be, but for the videos that I have put out, I've seen those that have commented. For those that have, showed support, I cannot thank you enough for doing that. That is, you are one of the biggest reasons I continue to do what I do. There are many times where I just don't really feel like doing it, and then I see a comment of someone being like, hey, I've watched your stuff for years, or, I'm so glad you're back, or, you're doing really great, or they talk about a video I did years ago and say, wow, you've really changed since then, and like stuff like that really does mean a lot to me. And that is something that I just feel like I often take for granted. And I don't really bring up enough just like how much I appreciate the support from you guys in watching my videos and things like that. But other than that, I think that's really what I'm going to close this video out on. I hope you guys have a fantastic year. If you had a good year, very happy that you were able to have that. Like I said, for me, I think it was a decent year when we're not talking about how just much pressure I was putting on myself with YouTube. Overall, I think the year was a decent one, but I think that 2025, if I'm able to implement these changes, will be a much better year for me overall. And if you did have a good year, I hope that 2025 is just as good, if not better. But other than that, Happy New Year to you all. I'm excited for all the things I do have planned in 2025, and I'm hoping to get all that stuff done. One other thing I do want to mention really quick, this is more on the Letterboxd side of things. This is not really affecting YouTube and things like that. This is more so something I'm doing for Letterboxd. So last year, I got this book for Christmas, Everyone's a Critic 52-Week Movie Challenge, and I haven't really been putting it to good use, but I thought, it's a new year, and I'm really trying to get back into, like, watching things on a more consistent basis, and I feel like this is kind of the perfect avenue to do that. Essentially, it's like a different challenge every single week. It's a different genre. You write down, like, the movie title, the year was released, all this other stuff, and I feel like this is just going to be an easier way for me to kind of, like, just get back into doing things. Often, I tend to just watch new releases or films that are preceding new releases. I don't watch a lot of just like classic films, and I feel like this is kind of a way for me to do that. So that is something else to look forward to. You will see me post about it on my Letterboxd and things like that, also on Facebook. I'm hoping to be a bit more consistent with that as well. That's the other thing. I feel like I've, tried to write all these like long reviews that I used to and things like that, and I've, tried to condense it a lot more to make it easier for myself. So again, we're really just going into 2025 trying to be as charitable to my mental health than I really have been, and I feel like that really is the best way to do it. Just stop putting a lot of pressure on myself and things like that. But yeah, other than that, that's really it for this video. Like I said, there's a lot of movie and TV reviews coming out within the next couple days, so definitely look forward to that. If you like this video, I mean, this would be a weird video to start off with, but I have a ton of other stuff, different, reviews that I was able to do and things like that, and that's, a lot of things that I'm very proud of that I was able to do this year. Definitely, if you're interested in any of that, definitely, consider subscribe to my channel and all that stuff. Would love to have you be a part of all of that. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, hope you guys have an amazing 2025, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.